So today we are going to be continuing with the password manager. We're going to be essentially connecting everything up that we did in the previous couple of streams, and we're going to be sort of just getting everything, nice and pretty. I think, yeah. That's a good way of describing it. Sure. So let's go to our desktop. And what we have so far is if we just run the executable that we created last stream, we get a key and a password. And again, that is not my actual GitHub password. Yeah, no, I don't know. I thought it was funny. So what we have here is we have a main function here in the table file that kind of just gets everything. It connects to a table, it mocks up some users, and then it creates database and prints the users, their passwords. Really, I copied this from a previous code base we worked on. May look familiar, but the problem here is that if I go to my SQL viewer, the password is not encrypted. We didn't implement the encryption of the password of actually from encrypting the passwords in the database just yet, and I think that's what I want to do today. So that's been great. Also, I guess this probably you could probably tell by my voice, but I've been sick over the weekend. So yeah, we're gonna trudge through this shit, and hopefully my patience and my resolve carry through. I do have a glass of water. So, if my voice may sound hoarse throughout the stream, that's why. Right, so we can kind of just delete this. I mean, we can more or less delete this whole file. I want to kind of do this in the in the main file. So like keygen, that generates a key. That's good. I kind of want to do the same thing with the database. So in the previous implementations, there it is. There's the previous implementation. We want to open this browser in dark mode because it's better on the eyes. It really is. I can do that. Plus, I opened the blinds and I checked myself in OBS, right? And I looked fucking pale as fuck. So, yeah, it was a nice day out. I thought, let some sunlight in. Why not, right? So, in the original implementation, we have these check functions, which I think I kind of want to implement into the Go implementation. So let's see here. So we'll do check here. Okay, so I'm gonna create sort of a comment. We're gonna create sort of a comment here, just so that we can make sure everything's okay, right? And check the right. So we want to check if the parent exists, right? So we'll do check parent. Go uses camel case. Now I guess we'll do the path, which is the file.path, and it'll be a boolean, because right, the implementation of getting the parent Here it returns an exception, but we can just panic. I think panicking's okay in that case, because if you can't get the parent, something has gone horribly wrong. And I think that's in the original OS implementation. Like, if we go to the implementation of getParent, we check the root, which is here, right? If we can't get the root of the path, and checking the root just makes sure that when you try and get the parent directory, you're not trying to get the parent directory out of the root, because essentially you can't subtract from 0, you know? In that's what we're doing here. We're making sure that you can't get less than nothing. You know, so you've the root of the file system. You can't get a parent of the root because it's the root. Makes sense, right? So we're checking the root, and if we can't get the root, then we have an exception here. But if you can't get the root of the file system, most file systems have roots, so something has gone horribly wrong if you can't get the root of the file system. But to get the root of the file system, you use absolute path, and if you can't get the absolute path, that's where our error path might come in. So I think panicking is a good way of sort of handling that error. Wow, all right. My throat is really hoarse at the moment. I apologize, but I'm trying to persevere. So then you just get the deer path essentially. So we're gonna say var parent, which is a file path. That's what parent returns. Is equal to go pull sils must, because must panics. I know I've been using this all over the password manager, and it is kind of just this one function that really sort of like gives you an inline, but what it does is it takes a function that may return an exception, and it just panics if the exception is nil. So you could probably have gotten that from the documentation, but that's what it does. And we're gonna say path dot parent. There we go. And if parent, if the parent does not exist, or actually no, we can just return parent dot exists. Yeah, there you go. And that gets rid of this function. And then I'm going to be coughing throughout this. I probably should have gone away from the mic, but I'll look at it later. So we have a... You're going to make the parent. You're going to make the parent. Yeah. Okay, and then, but then we'd need like an entry, right? Func make parent, which is gonna take in a path, file dot path, and I think this is gonna return an exception. I think that's okay. To return an exception, and if not, check parent your path. Then we're going to return a named exception, a named version, named exception. There we go. And this is going to be a IO error or a file. Yeah. I guess file not found error, probably. Yeah. And we're gonna say, in case that in quotes, we're gonna say the path does not exist, and we'll say path. Path, I think, has a toString function. Am I correct? It does. It has a string function. Good. So we can just pass the path in, and Golang will take care of that. So that's fine, right? And then we do oh, actually, hold on. You know what? What I'm going to do is check parent, and then I'm going to return the parent. I think that's a decent design choice. If parent... Oh, no, wait. Return parent, and then parent exists. And then here, we can say var parent is the file path of the parent, and var exists, which is a boolean, and you could say parent and then exists is check parent path, and then if not exists you return the file doesn't exist. Then now we have the parent, we want to make an entry, so var entry, say file.entry. Entry, the difference between entries and paths are kind of self-explanatory. They just work with path, with strings. It's not like a full-blown sort of like file operation object. Whereas entries is more, that's what we're using to do like copying, moving, reading, writing, that sort of stuff. like a file operation object. So then what we're going to do is what are we going to do? We're going to do file, new entry, and we're going to have the parent. And unfortunately, as this library is right now, as of right now, we kind of have to set the type of the file, but that will change in the future. So when creating an entry, the file type is a file by default, and then you have to set the type manually. But I have a C implementation of this, and I think people who follow this channel may know it, of where this is a ternary, and it sort of checks whether the file exists. If the file exists, then it gets the type, else it just assigns a file type, which I think would be excellent in the Go implementation, and I'm thinking about implementing that soon. So then we're going to return entry.create, which switches on the type and creates the entry. And it just returns an error. See? Make directory or touch, which creates a file. So I think that's okay. Oh wait, check root. Check root. Oh, excuse. Oh, so check file. Okay. And then we have a creation function. Okay. So then check file, which is going to get a path, and it's going to be very similar to check parent, except we don't really need to get the parent necessarily. And that's just going to be, well, no, actually even this method's a bit redundant, so I can kill that. I don't need this right now. And then make file. Even that's a bit redundant, yeah. Okay, well, func create file, which is going to take in a file path and a creation function, which is going to be a type alias. Type creation function which is a function that takes in no arguments and returns nothing. Cool. Okay, that's fine. Create file is, I believe, going to return an error. Figure this out. Right? Yeah, so if, and then I kind of want to do this, more or less. Right? I don't need to check the parent. I need to check if not path exists, then we say creation function is a creation function. There you go. And then we say creation function and we call that. And we'll return no. Right? Because what is the creation function used for here? Right, check file, create table, and create key. Okay. So right, generate key here. I was gonna look it up in the Python, but I think key maybe should return an error or a type. Right? How did write key. Because that just generates a key and writes it. I don't like that. And then it just creates a table. Like, I think there should be some sort of, like, exception mechanism to it. So that instead of returning that, I can return that. You know what I mean? So there is a bit of, like, error handling. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I really want to do this. Because we store the key file. We store... Okay. No, because I want to get the key. So I think... And then the function should take in a file path. Pointer. Oh, and then because we're working in 1.26, we have type alias generics. Which is, I think I'm gonna create a type, right? Because if you think about it, we're generating the key, and then we're also creating the table. Generating the key is gonna give you a key and an error, And then when you generate the table, we're connecting, which creates the database, and it gives you the database. Am I wrong? Yeah, so it creates the connector, which is connect SQLite, and then it opens and it gets the path, and it panics on error. Now, I think I'm gonna have that return an error. I think I'm gonna make connector return a database and an error. I think that's the cleaner way to do it in Go. Which, if I go back to connectors, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna return an error. And instead of that, we're going to return nil for the database, and then an error. And then storage and nil for the error. I think that's a more robust way of doing it. And then connect will also return an exception. Yeah. I think that's a good way of doing it. I think that's a very good way of doing it. Yeah. Okay. Here, and then if not okay, you return nil, and you can't find the connector. And then, of course, in table, I now have to do go polytils must. We're going to delete all this anyway, but this is essentially what we're going to be doing. And then clean up. Oh, because there's no, yeah. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna be, well, no. Yeah, because I still need that to prototype everything. Right, okay, so that's gonna be that, and then what we do here is we'll do what's the last function is we I can get rid of this. Type is any, and we're gonna return a type. Excuse me. Or a pointer to a type, or an exception. And that's gonna return a pointer What is this going to return? Invalid type. Can I not do type generics? Whoops. Undefined cleanup, yeah. Alright, let's build. And then keyword func, unexpected name, or what? Oh, okay. And then we do that. What the fuck? Okay. Sure. Generic type without instantiation. Oh, okay. So yeah, I think this needs to be generic as well, which is fine. Type, and then we want to do a pointer to a type and an exception. And we're going to say nil, that, and creation function, which takes in a path, right? Yeah, a path I think that's fine. And then we'll do check file. Sure. Which will be generic. And we'll say this is going to take in a path because we need to pass this to each of our check functions. And we're going to say a creation function, which is a creation function of type. Types? No, type. And this is going to return a type pointer or an exception. And we are going to say, make parent. Yeah. Okay, so var except, which is an exception. And that's going to be make, parent of the path. If accept does not equal nil, nil and accept. There we go. Basic error checking. Everyone in Go knows that little paradigm. Then we do. So we make the parent, which checks if it exists, right? Or if it, no, I think if it does exist. Yeah, because in the original implementation, right, we say if the parent exists or if the root exists, then we return because there's nothing to be done, which is correct. So if the parent exists, then we return we return nil, actually, because there's nothing to be done. That's a success path. If it already exists, you just return nil. I think that's fine. Okay. And then in the path, if it exists, we create it. Yeah, I think that's okay. Whereas then, if the accept does not equal nil, then we return the exception, which is correct. Else we return the create file, the path, and the creation function. I think that's right. Yeah. Okay. There you go. And then I can get rid of check file. Yeah. Okay. A little clutter on the screen. I need to get rid of. Okay. So then we do how do we tie this together, right? Because then we'll do check file, right? Yeah. But if the file exists, we decode the key. And if it doesn't exist, we have to make the file. Okay, so let's do var key file, which is a file path, and is equal to file path from key flag, which is passed in. And then you're going to say must, and then this has to be dereferenced because we're doing a, we're returning a pointer of a pointer. So then you say must, we do check file Um, key file, and the creation function is keygen. I think that's okay. Right? Because check file, array type key as key. What? So do I not need to dereference it? Yeah. So I don't need to dereference it. Oh. Okay, cool. Sure. Whatever. That's fine. So that's your keygen. That's how you do it programmatically. And then we have we make the password manager, and we load the file. We load the passwords, but loading the passwords is creating the database. Yeah, which is what we do in table. Right. So to create a database, I think load passwords. No, yeah, because load passwords I think is just gonna like take in a JSON file, and then we can write a specification for it. No, my watch is telling me to exercise. I have been sitting all day. I kind of do need to exercise. That's what I'm gonna do after the stream. Is I'm gonna get up and I don't know, maybe take a run or something. Got to stay limber, and it's such a beautiful day outside. Like I opened up I said this in the beginning of the stream, but I opened up the blinds, and wow, like, you know, seasonal depression really is a thing. You know, like with this sunlight, who could fucking be depressed? It's a beautiful fucking day outside. So after the stream, I think I'll go outside. I don't have any sort of depression. I'm just you know, saying that it is a great day, and it's kind of hard to be sad when there is a great, you know, when there's something to look forward to, a great day outside. But yeah, so then we do, let's see, what are we doing? We're checking the file. Right? Yeah, we're trying to get the connection to the database. So when we get the function file, right? I'm trying to think how I want to do this. So when I get the data, right? When I get the database, so I need the database file, the password file, which is here. And then I'm getting the key flag, and then getting the key. We don't have key file stored anywhere, right? Yeah, no. And then, so you get the check file. Okay, yeah. I think I could just do this in the main function. Yeah, okay. I think I can just do this in the main function. That's fine. I'd rather not, but it's kind of simple. I think that's fine. I'm not going to have an exception here. I'm just going to panic, whereas we get the connect var connection, which is a SQL database, and is equal to must. We're going to get the check file, which the path is our password file, and we're going to do not keygen, but connect dot connect. Oh, this also takes a driver too. Shit. Okay, maybe I need to wrap it. Yeah. Func connects to database. I probably could do. I haven't found like a decent like functional, because what I would do here is partial function application. This is perfect candidate for partial function application, but I haven't found like a good library that I can trust to do like partial function application and like functional programming without just writing a simple wrapper. Like, if wrappers are so easy that you could just write them and do sort of partial function application, that it makes sort of using a dedicated library almost redundant. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, I could use like a functional programming, like a map, filter, reduce, that sort of shit library, but I don't know. Like, if I'm just doing something stupid, I'm just gonna write a wrapper around it in like a creation function. It's clean, it's okay, in my personal opinion. So we're gonna connect to the database, and that's just gonna wrap our connect function here. So that's gonna take a driver, which is a connection. Connect dot, is it connector? What does this take? Oh, it takes a table driver. Okay, so table driver. There we go. And that's going to return a creation function of an SQL dot database. And that's going to return that's going to return a function that takes in a path, which is a file path, and return I think I could just use the alias. Yeah, it's gonna return a creation function, right, of a path. No, I don't think I can use the alias. Never mind. Yeah, so it's gonna take a path and then an SQL.db or an exception, if I'm correct. Whoops. Nope. Dot exception. And it's a type. Okay. And then we return connect dot create dot connect with the driver and the path. I think that's it. Yeah. And so that'll be create database, and that'll take in, connect to database, sorry. And that'll take in a table SQLite. There you go. All right, I think that's fine. And then we need a database connection, which is, let's see. How did I do it in table again? So I got the connection, and then I created created a new table. Okay, so var table, and that is equal to table new table, right? Table. Oh, no, password.new table. Okay. That new table. And I probably could fix the stuttering here for password if I must. And just say new, because that's fine in my opinion. Dot new table. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And it needs a connection, and this returns password.table. Why does it? Oh, because table is, I believe, an interface, correct? Yes. All right. And this doesn't have everything. What am I missing? Use generic type of type. Oh, okay. What is this generic over? Okay, and then password table, I guess, right? Insert many. This new, yeah, password new, that's fine. Get all. Maybe is it a password that password? Password. Is that correct? Yes, I think that's correct. Right? Because then it has insert, which is insert, and it'll get a password. Yeah, okay. All right, I think that's okay. And then we'll say table. Yeah, we'll defer table close. And that just closes our connection, I believe. If we go to password table, close. Yeah, that just closes our connection. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. So I think we have a new table, right? And then, so we've made sure that, so here's our steps. We've made sure that we've taken any arguments. We've made sure that our both password database file is exists and if not, it is created. Then what we've done is made sure our key file exists and if not, is created. And then we've also created our password manager here. So those are the steps we've got so far. 404 not found. What the fuck is this? I don't know what I clicked on. Okay. Doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. I could probably, yeah. So then I just need to sort of like load the passwords from the table, right? So then we do table. I keep misspelling table. You know, that get all. That could be a thing, I believe. Yeah, I think table.getAll is good. And that'll be var passwords. Or I could just one-line it and say parole, which is our password manager, extend O. It gets an object. That is interesting. Fair enough. And I don't think, right, because we do insert load passwords, insert extend. I think I can rename extend to assign because it takes in an object, and then make extend like something that takes in an array of passwords and then iterates over the array and individually appends them. I think, yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah. So I'm going to call this assign instead of extend, and then we'll make a new sort of extend function, which is very similar to what I have in the collections. So that'll be let's see. Yeah, so extend. And that'll get your passwords, which are a collection of views of passwords. And that will, I believe, return an exception. Yes, because insert returns an exception. Okay. And we're going to kind of use insert under the hood. What the fuck is going on with my thumb? I don't know. That was weird. Okay. So then for, yeah, I guess var, we have a password, which is, or no, var I, and get a little performance boost. For I is passwords, or range, passwords, collect. There we go. And that's why we're using a view, because view is like Rust's view, where it has a collect method, and you kind of just get the underlying array of it. But it's a read only sort of thing, because we're not returning a pointer, so it's not mutable to the type. It's also sized, which just has like a is empty and size method, like length. So that's what we're doing. And then we have, okay, so var password, which is password, and is equal to passwords dot collect at I. Although that's a double call, now that I'm thinking about it, like, this library may need a little bit of tweaks. The collections library I'm talking about, not the password manager. That's for another day. I can kind of let that lapse. Because I'm talking about, like, having a little performance boost here by not iterating over the values and then extracting the values, even though that's not clean code in the slightest. We're still making a double call here. I don't know. I'll fix it. That's for another stream. Fix. It's not really broken. It's just kind of like very not optimized. So then what I'll do, so we have passwords, and then we'll say parole.insert, and the key is the password. Yeah, password key and password. Yeah. Because that's what assign does anyway, right? Yeah. And assign's a little faster too. And then var accept. Or no, actually, this can be, right? Nah. Yeah, we'll make it local. Tills exception. If accept does not equal nil, just your basic error handling. Return accept, and then we can return nil. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I like that. And then we can get our passwords here, and we can say extend, and that'll be our get all function. So we do must, because I'm okay with panicking. Table or database. Well, no, I'll call it a table. Well, let's call it a database, because we don't want to shadow the name. Because it's the package name, so we don't want to shadow that. Could lead to trouble down the line. Probably won't, but might as well be safe. Get all, which returns a view of passwords, of password pointers, and we accept a view of passwords. Okay, so I need a pointer then. Right? And then insert gets a string and a string. Okay. I think that's okay. Where are my red squigglies? Oh. Ooh. Oh, that's a sign. Okay, yeah, we renamed it. Fair enough. Okay. That's good. And then this returns an exception, correct? Yes. So then we have accept. Oh, we need to redo accept. Fair enough. And then if accept does not equal nil, panic accept. Sure, that's fine. I think we have everything. I think that's okay. Because we're loading passwords from the database. Yeah. Right. So right now we have one password in the database, and if you remember, it was GitHub for the key, and then I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what we should get if we compile bin compile bin, right, and then bin run GitHub. Oh, okay, all right. What have we had here? Invalid memory address or nil pointer to reference. Ooh, okay. All right, where are we at? 83. So extend. And then 102, which is here. Select key and value, which I think are the same keys, correct? Key and password, yes. From the name. And you append your passwords. And then return. If result is empty, return nil. But then we have result. Okay, print line result, I guess. And it doesn't print result. Oh, because I'm stupid. We're running main, which doesn't pass in any arguments. But still, no, yeah. We want to compile again. But there's still nothing there. That is empty, okay. Little debug going on. Let's see. I just think that's the panic. I don't even think it gets to that. Okay, so let's run it again so we can do control click. It's 102. Why are we what is, oh, wait a minute, okay. But query error should be nil. Or shouldn't be nil. Why is, what the fuck? Okay, then do I just do %s? I think I do. But we're gonna see if anything changes here. Yeah. This is kind of perplexing. Okay, so extend. Okay, so let's actually get except, right? So let's say exception. Oh, I probably could have. I didn't need to delete that. Yeah. And we're gonna say database get all, which takes in. Oh, okay. Accepts, and if accept does not equal nil. Yeah, it still has a nil value dereference. 84. Which is get all from the table. Why is query error nil? Why is that condition hitting? If we're just gonna say print line query error, see what happens. Right, all logic says that this condition should not be hitting. This should not be nil, and I don't know why it is. Right? So key value, these are enum values. Name. Did we not set the name? Do I have to set the name? I do have to set that. That's what our problem is. Okay, fair enough. Set name passwords. Okay. It still gives me a no value to reference. Okay, why? At 102. Oh, I guess probably because of this. But name should be set. Okay. Dot connection. Is it connection? Is that what this is? Let's see. Yeah, connection is nil. Why is connection nil? Because when we create a new table, we're setting the connection with the connection, and we're getting a connection here. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. So then we're checking the file. So I guess var connection sql.db connection, I don't care about the errors, connection or connect driver and path. Nil and nil. Yeah, okay. Alright, so I want it to crash, but it's not... What the fuck? So it's not even calling this. What? Okay, huh. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Alright, how about print line connector and okay, I guess. It's still not even calling that. Which is very interesting. right? We check the file with the password file. Okay, print line driver, because then I can see if this function is being called at all. It is being called at all. But this is not being called, which is concerning. Make parent, which if the path exists, you're just returning nil and nil. Right? Because I can reason, so I can reason about this logically. Right? I can reason about this logically and say that, like, everything here should work, but then practically, nope. Which is why this is so confusing. You know, because you can read the code and you can say, okay, like, you know, this is what's happening, and but then you run the program and you get a different result. You get undefined behavior, essentially. They've brought undefined behavior to go. That's a fucking title. Oh, shit. So this is getting called, right? So then I'll just do print line, I guess, call for shits. Return connect driver path. So is this even getting to the function in the first place? No, it's not. Why though? Print line hit. Whoops. Nope. So it's not doing that. Create file. Print line exists. Ah. Okay, so they both exist. Ah. Okay, so they both exist. That's okay, that's where my problem's coming in. Fair enough. So connector, this is just gonna connect. This isn't gonna actually create the database file, which is the problem. Okay. Alright, fair enough. We've learned. But I do need a driver. So how do we create the database file? Is the problem, I believe. Okay, so in our original implementation of the... Oh, we're just creating the file. Okay. Alright, fair enough. In our original implementation, we literally just create the file. Okay, sure. So then... I think I'm just going to create the file, yeah. Yeah, okay. So then func create database, and we'll say that takes in a driver, which is a table, or yeah, no, create table, and that's gonna take in a driver, which is a table driver, and a path, of course. Path, and that is going to return... What is that going to return? A table... That's going to return a connection, right? Or no, that's just going to return an exception. Yeah, that's just going to return an exception. Whereas we... Right? No, I don't even think we need the driver. I just think, yeah, we just create the file. Yeah. Right. So we create the file. I think if the path exists, yeah. Check file, create file. Connect to database. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna do func create database, and that's just gonna take in a path, file path, and that's gonna return our connection. Yeah, create table, I think. And then we're also gonna do func create database, and that's just gonna take in a path. That's gonna take in a driver, which is a table driver, and that's gonna return me the SQL DB pointer. It's gonna return us our connection, and that's gonna return us or an exception. Right, so that's gonna return what is that gonna return? Nothing, right? Yeah. Or it's gonna return an exception, and we're gonna return file, or right, so var check the check file, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So var accept is our exception. And that is going to, and we don't care about the result because we're not really passing in anything as a result. And accept are equal to check file, right? Or no, we're getting check file. Okay, so we just want to create. Okay, all right, fine. File dot new entry path create, because it's a file. You know what? I could probably just do that and create database if I really need to. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Or no. We'll do that, and then we can just return that. That's fine for right now. Sure, maybe we can clean it up later, but I'm okay with that right now. So we do return func, which takes in a file path, and that's our path. That's the path we're gonna get. This little closure, little computer science closure, and that's gonna return us a SQL database connection, SQL database handle, or an exception. And that's going to return, let's see. No. Yeah, never mind. It's gonna be create table, which takes in your path. Yeah, because the password. So we get the password file and then they create the table. Oh, because we don't. Okay. Return nil and create table path. Does that make sense? No, because I also have to check, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is a creation function of a SQL database. And then we need a connection, right? So we're going to do connect. Yeah. Is we're going. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, well, no. Huh. Yeah, okay, so maybe we check file. No. Oh, wow, I've run myself into a hole here. Damn. So I get connection database, connect to database. So I need to connect, but I also need to create the file, but I'm turning this sort of inside out. Return. Right, okay, so to connect, we need a driver and a path, and we open that driver and we open that path, but we're checking a file. I guess do you want to like pass in the path? That might be something. I don't know. It's kind of easy in Python when you like look, right? So we're just checking that. So we're getting the password file and create table, just creates the table, because we're just opening the file and creating the file. But I want to get rid. I want to make I/O operations in one place. That's what I'm getting at, and it's a little tricky to do. Yeah. I guess what I could do is just create that. Well, no, because, yeah, and then. Just begun, but I hope tomorrow you find better things. I have that song stuck in my head. I was listening to the Kinks today. Kinks are pretty good. Yeah, alright, so we're just going to return the path. Turn path and then create. I think that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Create table. Yeah, and then we can kind of ignore this. That's fine. And then, so we check the file, and then we get, I don't like how that's written, but I think that's just the best way we can do that right now with what we have. And then what I can do is, so we create the file if it's not there. We check everything. And then we load the passwords, right? And then we get a connection. Yeah, okay, so create a connection. So func, or no. Connect, yeah. So we do connect var connection, which is your connection, is equal to go poltils must of connect with your SQLite driver, and then password file. I think that's okay, yeah. And then if we compile and run, unknown driver SQLite 3. Where is that? 79. And then that's it. So connect unknown driver SQL. What? Is it a forgotten import? What do we need to import in the table? Nothing, right? Oh, that's because we're not in the right table file. We just get a connection. Connect. Oh, okay, yeah. Because I need to do this stupid fucking driver download or whatever. No, I don't need to do that. Stupid driver import. That's okay. All right, I'm gonna clean this up, I think. All right, and then I think I need to do a go mod tidy. We'll do it anyway, just to. And then executable is not valid application. Ooh, all right. So we have to go to our build command. And add our linker build commands. Still. Oh, because we need to bin build. And we'll do release mode. Cannot access map at key. Okay, 90 then. Oh, okay, yeah, because we didn't pass anything in. Map at key GitHub, because... Why? Cannot access map at key. Oh, because we don't... Yeah, okay, alright. Is equal to... because we don't extend the password manager. Database get all. Which I believe takes must as well. Invalid memory address or nil pointer dereference. Where the fuck is that? Okay. Another one of these. So let's see. 84. Okay. And then this goes into 55, which is here. Insert key and password. Right. And then we go here, which gets your token and encrypts the password. Because we don't want no greedy corporations stealing our in-memory databases now, do we? I don't know. I thought that was funny. Nil pointer dereference. What is nil? Extend. Okay, get all. Get all. Let's see if that is a thing. Sure, yeah, and then at, I guess, GitHub. Oh, view. Okay. 0 interface type. Oh, dot collect at 0. There. Should have known. Which is this, I believe. Let's do printf password %s new line, or no, %v new line, yeah, because I don't know what I'm gonna get. Password is this, so it's a password. Exactly. So then I get all, right? So we have a collection of view of passwords, which is exactly what this gets, and then collects. What? And it's nil at, what the fuck? All right, printf key, which is %s, new line, and password. Which is %s new line, and that'll be password key, password, password. Let's see, what's the nil here? No, yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so then I guess maybe is it insert? Key. Memory address or nil valid value pointer. 57 and then 37 takes the encrypt, and then 29 is encrypt and encrypt and sign. Aha! Okay, so it has something to do with encrypt and sign. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Alright, so FMC print line token. Token, I believe, is nil. Oh, string token. Whoops. And we'll do a printf so that we know what we're doing. Token. Whoops. Yeah, okay, so the token is nil. Why is the token nil? Huh. We have a key, That's fine, right? Now, let's see. Print line key. Let's see if that has anything to do with it. Key is nil. Why? Ooh, why is key nil? Ah, okay. I should have a key. Check file. Keygen. Right, so if the file exists, we decode the key after we load the key. Print line, or printf key. Let's see what we have here. %v. Okay. This is interesting. Oh, I already have key. Encrypt. Sure. Nothing. Okay. Load key. Right, so then we'll go to load key, and then, so it reads the file, load key, which is the file from keygen passed in, and that's the key file, which is key.key, which should be correct. Like, I think I'm losing my fucking mind here. Am I alone? T print line. Key, and then storage connection. I know my connection is valid, so I can kill that. Alright, so we have key and password, and then nil, which is the key. Why is the key nil? Right? Okay, so then print line key. Oh, well. Yeah, it's nil. Why is the key nil though? That's my question. Because keygen, right? We check the file. If the parent doesn't exist, then we create file, which is the creation function, and we pass that in, and the creation function is keygen, which the keygen loads the key, loads the fucking key. Print line the string of key. Let's see. Am I going insane? Yes. Whoops. I'm gonna type in key. Oh, well, I guess I could just do that for now. And it doesn't even call load key. Because if the file exists, remember, right? If the file exists, right, we're gonna make the parent. So if the parent doesn't exist, we return nil. Fine, fair enough. Right? Make parent. Check parent. If the parent exists, we return nil. Fair enough. That is a success path. We don't need to do anything. Now, and then we call the create file with the creation function, which then just checks if the path exists. Oh. Wait a minute. That's our problem. You see it? You see the problem? Right here. We're returning nil if the path exists. So when we run create file on the creation function, it checks to see if the path exists, and it does exist, so we just return nil. Yeah, about that. Shit. And I don't really know how to... I guess I can really just return creation function, because creation function loads anyway, if you think about it, right? Like in the database file, or in the database function, right? Check file, create table. We get the path. Whereas here, if the file exists, we load the key. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's so that's fine. Okay. So if the path exists, we're gonna return. I guess the creation. So then we can just return creation function, right? Because if not, because we check the file. No. Oh wow, this has become sort of stupid, hasn't it? Yeah, this has become sort of stupid. I mean, I agree with, like, checking the parent and everything, but, like... Yeah, this has become sort of, like, stupid, almost. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna return creation function with the path. And that's gonna work. Case end point. It works. Yep. Okay. Alright, so file already exists error, which is to be expected as of right now. So 72, we check file. Check file, right? Return creation function. Yeah, okay, so if path already exists, return path nil. And I think that's gonna be fine, yeah. Yeah, and then if we run... There we go. I'm gonna say probably 45 minutes of debugging this horseshit. And now to make it look pretty for the next 30 minutes, I guess. Yeah. Wow, this really took a turn. Okay. Yeah. So I can get rid of my print lines now. Where are my print lines? Maybe I could do a UI as well. Or I think UI might be the next one. Yeah. I can definitely get rid of table, though. Yeah, I can get rid of table. That's fine. Yeah. Let's see. So I think I can just make like a setup function. Yeah, which gets me which gets me everything I need. We'll say key path. Yeah, key path and password. Or key file and password file, which are both files. Which are both file paths. And then what else would I need? I think that's it. Yeah. So this is going to return both the password manager and the connection. So a table of passwords. Yeah, okay. And it's gonna do this. Don't need these. And then you have that, and we're gonna say, I guess name, yeah. Table name, which is a string, and that's gonna be table name. And we're gonna make sort of a global table name. This is string and equals passwords. There we go. Okay. That's fine. And then, right, so we do that. We check the file. Because I don't necessarily need, yeah. Need the, well, I mean, I guess I could get the, no, yeah, I don't care. Table.SQLite, oh, and then driver, yeah, driver, which is table, driver, which is a table driver. Driver. Key, let's space some things out. Password, then we check. We get a connection. Table, I think that's okay. And then table set name. And then we'll return role and the database. Oh, because it's a interface. Okay, so that's in a function. That's in our setup function, and we can get rid of this. Yeah. And we'll do var parole. I guess I could call that password manager, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. As well as var database, and that is our table dot table, and we have this, and database is equal to setup, which we get the key file, password file, table name, and the driver, which has not been set yet. Table name and driver, which is a table SQLite. There we go. Oh, of password. There we go, and then we defer closing, and then I can make these else ifs. That's fine. Yeah, okay. I think that'll do it. I think that'll do it for right now. Yeah. Right, and then if I go to compile and then do that. Oh, yeah, we have to get rid of our prints. Print F. I don't need the token anymore, and I don't need to know if this is nil anymore, so that's fine. And then we compile, and I don't need key. This is fine. There we go. The only thing that should be printing is the password, which is correct. And then if I want to add a password, say YouTube, and say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that works. And then if I want to retrieve the YouTube password, ooh. I'm sorry, what? Okay. This is interesting. Failed to open. Okay. Why? No such table, passwords. Yes, I know that. It's empty. Why? Why is it empty? Oh, because I don't mock anything. I don't add any, right? Yeah. Right. So we check if it exists, and if it doesn't exist, we create the password folder, or the password file and the key, right? We have a generated key. That's right. That's correct. Let's see. We want to make file. Right, we set up, right, because we create the password manager. We check the file with the key, and we check the file. I think checking the file should go here, and then that should be a thing. And then if I delete these, yeah, okay, let's see. No such table passwords. You would be correct in that assertion. New table. I guess then we'll do set name and then database dot create. Is it? Yeah, create table name. Oh, that's how. Oh, okay. All right, fine, fair enough. There we go. Which in create, yeah, and then if we go to table, create. Where's create? Create's here. Creates if not exists, and it sets the name, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, alright. So that, okay, alright. And then we do that, No such table as password. You would be correct. So let's delete our database once again. No such table passwords. What? See, new table, so we get our connection. That's correct. Okay, 99. Extend must, but it should be in setup. Yeah, that should be in setup. So, come on, setup, city. It's not even doing that. Okay, so let's delete. No such table. No, so it's not even printing setup. Why? Database.create. That's not good. So is it going to connect? Print line connect, right? Let's see here. Oh, come on. No, I want to compile and then run this, I guess. Connect and then setup. Okay, storage is empty, which is correct. Yeah, okay, so it's empty. That's correct. I don't exactly know what changed. I'll be perfectly honest with you. So if I just do that, right, and then I delete this. Password storage is empty. Alright, you're correct, yeah. Yeah, okay, let's see. So we create the database, we create the table. Right, we get everything there, and then so you set up deferred database close, and then you read, right, extend. I guess maybe should I bring this down here? No, I should. Yeah. Because I need to get all of them, whereas then if I go to insert, storage is empty, you would be correct. Right? Because let's compile and then insert. Storage is empty. Yes. 98, where we read here. Get all. Right? So we table. And table get all is. No, I need get all. That's what I need. Where are we here? Does not. Oh, I don't care if it's empty. Oh. Okay. Yeah, if you think about it, I don't really care if it's empty. Come on. Refresh. Okay, yeah. And then instead of that, insert, and you don't dump passwords, you database dot insert I guess, yeah. Or dot extend? Do I need to extend? Dot connection. Insert many, I think is, yeah. At the passwords. Alright, passwords? What did I call it? Oh. Bottle. Dot passwords. No. Huh. Can I just get like a slice of passwords? Right, so I think a password manager, right? Get. Should I just say get all? Because passwords gives you an object. Yeah. Which is the right thing, yeah. Huh. That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. Object where each key is equal to each value. So I guess what I could do is var key value of strings, right? Or that's actually any, but key and password value any is for key value in the range of parole dot passwords assign extend get insert load passwords in assign, or I guess dump passwords, is it? No, because dump passwords dumps it as a JSON object. Yeah, so we want to do passwords, right? We're going to do this. We're going to database dot insert. Oh, and I as well. Yeah, I need an index. Right? Can I get an I? Oh, file. Oh no, I can't enumerate. Yeah, fuck. Shit. Shit. Oh, okay, so for I in range. Well, no, that'll give me the key. Yeah, whoa. This is interesting. Because I can't dump unless I get a linear array, but then I guess table insert many, that's a collection, yeah. Passwords, which is an item. That insert item. My jacket is falling off my chair. Parole.insert. So it inserts your key in your token, right? But then, how do we get it in the database? That's the problem. Yeah. Let's see here. So insert many. Takes a view, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't know. No, because I just need a collection of passwords. Want to just do that? Yeah, okay. So func object object to, I think I actually have something like that. Object to slice, right? Go serialize objects. Oh yeah. To get typing, I need that. Objects slice to bytes. No. Bytes to slice object. No. Yeah. No. So I gotta create a function. Okay. Object to slice. Or object to view, I guess. Yeah. Which you'll get in your object, which is go serialize object, and we'll return a collections view of passwords. Var key value are any, or var key string, var value is an any type. Sure, why not? And then we'll create a result type, which is a collection of passwords. And that is a collections new array of a password. There you go. And then for key value range object results dot append, right? Password new key value, which we know is a string. And then return result. Yeah, I think that's fine. Object to view, which is parole.passwords. I think that works. Use password. Oh, I have to dereference it, sorry. Okay, and then, so we're gonna compile again and run it. File is not edit. Yes, okay, fine. Then, fuck off. Oh, no, I did not mean to do that. I meant to delete this. Alright, let's compile again and run it. Awesome. This now has, I believe, encrypted passwords. Let's find out. It has encrypted passwords. Yes! We can store encrypted passwords now. Awesome. That's amazing. Okay. I want to refactor this a lot, but I don't really have time. It's getting about that time in the evening where my dinner is, dinner plans will be starting to be discussed. So that's also why I love the height of summer, right? Like, this is very tangential, but I love the height of summer. You'd think it's noon. It's not. It's fucking 17:29, which for Americans is, I think, 5 in the afternoon, right? Yeah. Wow. Okay. I like this. I like this. I really do. We can make it cosmetically appealing. I think next episode is going to definitely be a UI stream. We're gonna make like a console application, and then hopefully that'll work. Yeah. But we tied everything together that we did in the previous streams, and that's kind of what matters. So, yeah. Yeah. I think I'm happy with this. Well, Well, like, I'm not happy with it, but I'm happy with it in the sense of, like, this'll do for right now. You know what I mean? Like, I have unreasonable standards sometimes. And just sometimes I just really, like, want shit to work, you know? And be, like, pretty and everything and, like, professional. Yeah. But this'll do. Maybe next stream before we start the UI, we'll sort of clean everything up before we really get into the weeds. Because once we start the UI, that's really going to be, like, in the weeds sort of shit. Like, it's going to be a huge mess if I'm not careful with it. So, yeah. So, I think I'm going to end the stream there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're on the Twitch, check out the VOD channel. Links in the channel links, of course. We upload. We try to upload every weekend or day. Sorry, over there. Like we just uploaded a new video today. There's going to be a new video tomorrow that's already scheduled, so I can say that in the sense of it's accurate information. And yeah, but if you're on the YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, head over to the Twitch. The Twitch channel is always in the video description, always. Check out some of the playlists, previous streams. It's a good watch. It's sometimes a struggle, but it's a good watch. It's a good watch, I promise. Slow burn. Yeah. Well, my friends are really into like film and shit, so they'd call my channel Slow Burn probably. Yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Stay safe. Peace.